First, my name is Kenneth Bird. My company is Crystal Edge Technology Streams. Today we're going to be doing some more testing on the daytime front and rear coating that we developed. We have two of these now. We have a dark gray, and we have now a don't know the color of this. It's kind of a strange, odd color. So we don't have a name for this one yet. We do have a name. I'm sorry. We call it Fusion Color. That's what it's called, Fusion Color. This one has a very interesting color to it. So to test the screens, ambient light projection technology that we call Sun Killer. We are doing some tests here to see exactly how much light the screen can absorb and take in from inside. Unfortunately, today we have a rainy day, but tomorrow we'll have many sunny days to play outside with the technology, which I'm very excited about. I mean, there's so many levels on what we could do with this. I've already ordered a much larger surface so we could do some demonstrations outside. See if we can watch TV, football games in the afternoon. That'd be really nice right there, to tell you the truth. I have companies that have already inquired about using it on matte surfaces, as in spraying it on all different forms of materials. We just ordered last night a 10 by 20 screen. Yep, it's coming in, big screen, really big screen. So painting this is going to be a breeze because, as I said before, this coating is really interesting. It takes one time to hit a surface and it activates like crazy. So depending on how many different shades you put it on, and as I said before, this is a spray-on multi-layer application that has to be done when you spray these screens. You can't just roll it on or anything like that. I think what we're going to do is that we had a person who basically from time to time comes in, tries to mimic or duplicate our demonstrations, and we're going to use his videos as and actually his videos will come in quite handy, and I'll tell you why. It shows how hard it is to duplicate the technology. One of the key features of this technology is it has the ability to be able to take on direct sunlight. It can take in a ton of ambient light. So, and the demonstrations that were supposed to be displayed of someone actually trying to make the product, all you would see is basically just these really demonstrations with no form of test demonstrations, no demonstrations of a actual physical direct hit from the sun at all, period. So that's actually good because it shows how complicated it is to make the formula than someone just going out and picking up some remedies from Home Depot or Lowe's and trying to duplicate and make the product. And that comes out actually very good for us because it just shows how hard it is to make the product. As you can see you won't see the projector on the other side because, like I said, it's just called, we're going to call it, instead of invisible dark, we're going to call it dark invisible Nova 19. So as you can see, that's a 4200 lumen projector. Sony, let me get some tea first. Got to get tea in the morning when I start this. But that's a Sony VPL FH36 at 5200 lumens, and that is not even piercing the screen. And the reflection you're seeing right here is a reflection of the lamp coming off the actual screen. That's how dark they are. Now, other key features to the technology, not only can it take a direct hit from the sun, but it can be peeled off when you're finished with it. Cleaning it up is very easy. Okay, so this technology will come in 3 colors, actually 4 colors. We have one in black, we have the fusion color, and then we have a dark gray version of it. Right now, what I'm testing is the light that has to hit the screen from either side. So we have light here, and we have light here that has to make contact with this screen. Now you can see the screen so dark that you can see the reflector from the lights bouncing off the screen. And there is the 5200 projector, which we need on the other end to start with the projector to show that there's no lamp glare, there's no piercing through the screen, nothing to hit you in the face. This is very important because not everybody's going to use an ultra short throw projector. Some people are going to have a long throw, depending on the environment. And if you're going to be using these outside to entertain guests that will be eating outside the establishment, the last thing you want is a customer to be hit in the face with a 5200 lumen projector or higher. It's going to nail them in the face. So you need a screen that's going to be able to cancel that out right from the door. And that's what we're doing in this test right here. Seeing how much light it takes to hit the screen, which we already know from the door that this stuff can take a direct hit from sunlight. That's one of the key features of the technology, to be able to take that direct hit from sunlight and to be able to be easy exposed, which means when the person who owns the screen is done with it, or maybe he doesn't want it anymore, maybe he wants to change his window setting, he can just peel this stuff right off and be done with it. Now, as I said before, I thought about it last night. We're going to have people trying to duplicate and try to do the same thing. That's going to happen. We know that. It's business. We're going to use those video demonstrations because those video demonstrations now can help our company, and I'll tell you why. It just shows other companies how hard it is to duplicate the technology, which means it's not as easy as people think it is to be able to make this product. And we can use those demonstrations to benefit our company. Because now, since we have recordings of those videos, we can say, hey, look, this is a product that somebody tried to make the exact same thing, and this is their results. And we can compare them to the videos that we display. I like that idea. That will work to our benefit right there. Because even though, we'll have companies trying to basically either reverse engineer the technology or try to make it themselves. But if we can show them right from the door how complicated it is to do, that pretty much eliminates any thought of them trying to either make or do it themselves. That's an easy contract. That's an easy couple of $1,000s in my banking account, easily. Now, the technology will only be available to companies. Any companies that are interested in the technology must show proof of a business tax ID number, showing that your company is legit. The technology will run somewhere around $600 a gallon. The reason why we're doing it at a gallon only is because the application is different. We will have an application video and instructions on the technology. This will be for companies only. And those instructions will show you how to paint the screen. The screen has to be painted a particular way in order to get it to react to sunlight. All right. Sorry if I walk away. I walk away from the camera. It's because I'm going into the next room to make myself a cup of hot tea. Like that tea in the morning because my lungs get a little crazy. Hard for me to talk. Calms my lungs down a little bit if I have some tea in the morning. So that's why I'm walking away. But other than that, as you can see, it is the first technology of its kind to take a direct hit from the sun. There is no other. We did the research already. There is no other screen that can take a direct hit from sunlight but this technology right here. And at that, we can make it in any color we want. So, like I said, with that being said, like I said, we're going to use those videos because we know if the videos are deleted, removed, at least we got copies of them. But we're going to use those videos to show to our customers, people we're going to be doing business with, how hard it is to duplicate the product. As I said before, the key features of this technology is to take in a great deal of light. In the other demonstrations that I saw, I never saw the screen ever introduced any form of sunlight whatsoever. Video quality was extremely poor. White levels were horrible. Contrast levels weren't even there at all to begin with. There were no demonstrations of any objects being set behind the screen and being able to disappear. That wasn't even there at all. You have to be able to mask and hide objects behind it. Now keep in mind that some of these companies are going to be using this. They want a screen they're going to be paint up. They don't want to see where you have people in the background moving back and forth. They don't want to see them penetrating through the screen. And they definitely want to see 5,200 lumens of power pushing through, hitting someone in the face. So that screen has to be able to mask whatever hits behind the back of it. Has to be not seen. And that's very important for some of the applications what it's going to be used for. Also, too, if you're going to be using it for something like in Foot Locker, if you're going to be using it for something like a display for your sneakers, instead of spending the money for an expensive LCD TV there, you can actually tuck away a projector into the wall, ultra short throw, put the black, we got this in black panels up, paint the black panels. You wouldn't even be able to see anything on the other side of that, side of the technology. Nothing. You just would see a black panel, but boom, right there, you can automatically put advertising right there across that black panel. See? So there's different ways we can use it. And also too, with it having the ability to be the way you can add in multiple applications, you can control the darkness of the screen. You can control how dark you want the shade. This is actually a 5 application. So we have a 1 application to 5 application. 5 application being the top. Now, if you go past 5, you will crack your screen. So we know this. All these tests have to be run. That's why I explained that it's very important not to go rush in and do demonstrations and do things and think you know how technology is developed without basically doing the research first. In order for me to do demonstrations against some of these big companies that I have sitting over there in my kitchen drawer, I had to research their companies. I had to watch all their videos, mostly all their videos, to see how their screens were reacting in ambient light, what kind of projectors they were using, and all that kind of stuff like that is information that I need. I can't just jump on YouTube and do a demonstration against a screen that I didn't study about. That's why you hire a strategist in war, because that is the person who goes out and studies the enemy, gets all the information, everything needed, how to set up the troops, where to set up the troops. When you go into battle, you just won't rush off the battle without information. You need intel. If not, you get destroyed. Much like we saw in the demonstration yesterday. Now, we did give the individual, he wanted to make the product, he failed, 2 attempts were failed, which, like I said, we're going to be using those videos now as in to show off to our our business partners and stuff like that, exactly people trying to duplicate the product and failing miserably. That gives them the confidence that no one can make it. But anyway, in the first attempt, frost clear, I think, was used because the individual thought the screen was clear. That failed miserably. No sunlight made contact with the screen. Angle gain didn't come up not too well at all. It was a failed attempt. There was no sunlight actually making contact with the screen at all, period. The product was never peeled off. I don't think he even knew the product was ever had to be peeled off. Second attempt, poly black paint. This is very important for us because now we can show our whatchamacallit. Look, if you mix poly and black paint, this is the results you're going to get from it. If you don't have our product, this is what you're going to get if you mix that stuff together and you paint that on your expensive windows. Poly and black paint doesn't peel. It's a permanent. When it actually hits your screen, it's permanent. You can't peel that. That's why in the demonstration, we peeled the screen to show you that if a customer paints this on his expensive storefront window, he can actually remove it with no problem, which is good. Where in the demonstration, we requested for it to be peeled off the surface, was never done. We requested for objects to be set behind it. Those were never done. We requested start for demonstration contrast, demonstrations, color demonstrations, white levels and colors. Never done. We requested direct hit from sunlight, both demonstrations. Never done. Second, this technology that was developed, the fusion, color fusion. We've requested that this be made, the item be poured out to show exactly the coloration and design of the formula. Never done. We requested for it to be coated onto a surface, put out in direct sunlight. Never done. We requested different color patterns, as in different colors, as in different videos, contrast, white levels, and so forth. Those screens, never done. Angle gain, never done. Screen to be peeled off, never done. See what I'm getting at here? So those videos become very important to us because it shows them, say, look, this is a fellow who tried to make the product. The minute it came out, you can compare the videos side by side. You can see exactly that it comes no closer, it's come anywhere close to what we develop. And there you go. Same thing, right? We're going to be using those, also the other videos of the black screen being painted in very dark, and then us displaying. We're actually doing a side by side. We're going to be doing a special site on the website, which is side by side, which is going to be his duplicated video next to ours. You can watch them side by side and see if they match up. All right, now getting back to this technology right here, as you know before, no, they cannot duplicate it. Even if we give them permission to make it, they can't duplicate the screen. They can't pass any of the tests under the technology. So that just clearly shows it can't be made. We're the only ones who can make it. And I explained that before, that if God blesses me with a design, well, that's my technology only, because it was my blessing for me. And those who try to duplicate and make it, what will happen to them? They will be embarrassed greatly. This is what you get for basically trying to downplay God, downplay my blessing, and trying to make my product without my permission. Couldn't make it. And in the end, instead of you doing any of the videos we've requested, even the one we said you could make the product, you did an insult video, which, like I said, doesn't bother me, because at the end of the day, you can't make it. You want to see something interesting about this product? All right, so one of the things we displayed outside was when the projector's hitting the back end of the screen, you'll notice that on the back end of the screen, you won't see anything. This stuff is designed to generate off sunlight. Again, you have to do research on plants to understand that one. Plants actually give you, oh man, I'm telling you, you wouldn't believe so much. No, forget it. I'm just talking too much. But anyway, so as you can see the image with no problem from the front, right? So say this is the outside window, say this is Mr. Sun, which we all know is much more light than that. Right, there's our projector sitting all the way back there. Now you see how it looks on the opposite side of the screen, how it looks faded? Because the technology is designed that when you put this against a glass window, this is the only side that can bring up an image that's being hit with direct sunlight or whatever, lots of light. But inside the house, we can actually show in both images. If we have it in regular lighting here, we can show both images with no problem. But if you would stick this up against glass and hit it from the back of the projector, the inside doesn't show up. It's the one that's outside that shows up, the one that's being hit with the sunlight. Isn't that interesting? Yep. Sorry about that. I walk away, I just get myself a hot cup of tea. See, the thing about it is, this stuff was never contracted for customers. Even though it wasn't. I explained before in a lot of my video demonstrations that we are developing stuff that's strictly for companies. This was never made or designed for a customer at all, period. Not me, this is designed for company use. The corporations will be accessing this technology. And again, 5200 lumen projector. See how clean the image has to come up? It has to be clean, because when a person's advertising or using this for advertising, whether they're using it for abstract art, whatever they're going to use it for, the image has to be clean. You don't want a dirty image. You don't want your white levels coming up dirty and filthy. That's what you don't want. When you mix poly and black paint, that doesn't do too well. Like I said, when we make this stuff, we first started making this stuff way back a long time ago, you have to be able to go in and try to test everything against your product, because people are going to go out there and try to make it. You have to accept that. It doesn't bother me that people try to make our product. It's sad because they can't do any of the they try to make the product, but they can't do any of the demonstrations. And the product doesn't even look like ours. Completely failed attempt. Now, mind you, like I said, there's things we're going to hide about this technology that later on we're going to bring out. No one knew when we first displayed it that you could peel the screen off. We know about that. Later on, we showed you that. A lot of people didn't realize that when the screen was producing an image out in the sunlight, that the backside of the screen, the image wasn't there. It was dull. It was washed out. The screen generates when light hits the screen. Sunlight. Something you learn when you study about plants. About how they receive and accept energy. So the screen basically can be energized. Not recharged like a battery, but energized. And I know when I talk about this stuff, people sit there and think, oh, he's just talking a bunch of mumbo jumbo. Well, I back up everything I can do. I got screens that are blue, green, and yellow that can read color. Got black screens that can produce amazing white levels on the white screens. And I got screens that basically can do all kinds of interesting things, such like now, sun killer technology. Something that I can't wait to start playing around more with, because as I said before, ambient light inside the house is just too easy. What I need is a real demonstration. I need to be outside. That's where the real tests come in. That's where the real testing comes in, not inside the house. Ambient light rejection tests inside the house, I'm bored of them. I'm really bored of them. I've done them to death. I can walk through my entire house. I can fire up every last one of my screens. I can fire screens up outside. I'm bored with it. There's no challenge anymore for me. The challenge now is sunlight. That's my challenge. That's my thrill. That's my new love. To be able to take a direct hit from the sun and still produce an image, that's the road I'm traveling on now. People fighting and dodging ambient light in the environment, so we're past that now. I can easily fire a screen up in here with no problem. I was talking to a customer. He says, you don't own any TVs in your house. I said, not really. All our main screens, everything we have in the house runs off projectors. These things run 24/7 throughout the entire house. And these screens are big. These are not small screens. These are pretty big screens we got running through the house. I've done everything I could possibly think of with ambient light projection inside. And I'm bored with it. So, this is my new love right here. To be able to take on, have our playground outside. That's the place I want to be at. And now, since this technology can take a direct hit from the sun, which we have backed up and proven, we can run it anywhere in the house with no problem. Let's get something else besides fish. This is the fishing form. So let's get over here. Like I said, I appreciate what God has blessed us to have, but it's time for us to travel to another level. Next level is sunlight. Sat there and said there one day on video, I remember saying that, you know, one day we're going to have a screen that you can sit outside and you can watch the football game in the sun. And here we are, already here. Let's get something for this. I'm going to find my remote control. It's a bird. Put it up. We're going to have to change out the number on our website too. Like I said, we have a tech on our. I think we're just going to cancel altogether. I'd say Mr. Bird did with his remote control first. Oh, here it is. We found it. We found it. OLED beta fish. LG beta fish. I think we're on the right side on that one. Oh, this is on the tilt a little bit too. I can see where it's tilted a little bit. Let's see if I can adjust this a little better. Are we there yet? Oh, a little bit more. All right, that's better. That's driving me crazy. Let's bring it down some. That's going over. Nope. There we go. That's good. Let's see. That's supposed to look like a TV. That's how it's supposed to look. It's not supposed to be faded. It's not supposed to be washed out. Light's not supposed to penetrate through it. You notice when I walk in front of it, you can't see my door. You can't see objects on the side. You can't see nothing. That's how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be dark. This is dark invisible technology. We've done light technology already. That's a little too easy. So you have to understand, in the end, people can't make our stuff. And all they can do in the end is just basically toss insults. Which, like I said, doesn't bother me because they can't make it. We give them the opportunity to make our projects or make our technology. They can't make it. They're the only ones that can make this stuff. It's not as easy as going out to Home Depot and Lowe's and picking up a few products to make it. Not that easy. It's hard work behind it. That's why I can go out to Lowe's right now and pick up a gallon of primer. It matches to just about any gray screen paint I can get my hands on and do the exact same thing. There's nothing behind it, anything new. I displayed that yesterday with the knockoff projector. See, that's how your image is supposed to pop up on that technology. It's supposed to be clean. Image is supposed to be clean. See? No dirtiness, no murkiness, nothing. Clean. If you notice, you can see the reflection of me in the background. Ooh. It's supposed to be dark. You're not supposed to see the screen. So you're supposed to see my reflection on the other side. Now the black screen we're going to be working on next. Ooh, I love doing those. This thing is going to be super dark. Outer Space 4K screensaver. Let's go with see how clean that's supposed to be? That's supposed to be clean. And you're supposed to be to pull contrast levels also too at the same time. Let's get this one right here. I like this one. We'll do this one. No, that's not the glare coming from the projector. That's an actual star that's being displayed in the video. What I find interesting when people grab items and they display the items as if we're bothered by that. That's not in our product. That's why you can't do any of the tests. Or anybody can't do any of the tests. Not in our. It's not how we put it together. It's how you put things together. If someone constantly makes the same product over and over again, they figure that everybody else is making it the same way they're making it. Nope, completely different. Completely different. Look at that. So like I said, when we developed this stuff, we had people that tried to mimic and make our products, but like I said, they can't back it up. Oh, that's beautiful. This projector has no sound. These are Sony's, the venues. Ooh. There we go with that. The image has to be clean. Go to the front. You see the image has to be clean. Can't have a lot of dirt in the image. I'll show you one. Skyworth food demonstration. Now the problem is, this is what happens when you mix poly and black paint together. It doesn't actually mix all that well. So these are two different formulas that are very temperamental, and it doesn't mix that well. And what it causes is it causes these little black freckles all over the screen, because that's pretty much parts of the black product not mixing well with the poly, and that causes that dirty, murky, ugly look to it. So you got to figure out, never mind, giving out too much information again. So there's the food, and you'll see how high the white levels push up on the surface. You'll notice there's no black dirty specks all over the screen. Nice clean image all the way across, as it should be. Up close, you can see up close. Image is nice and clean. Okay. Go to the front. Image has to be clean. Can't have a dirty image. If the image comes up dirty, it's not going to look right. Something wrong there. The image has to be clean. People are going to be using this for window advertising. The last thing you want is a dirty image to pop up. That's why the image has to be clean. That's what I explained to before, because you can't mix everything together. You can't. Certain things don't mix well. Poly and black paint don't mix. Two different formulas, two different elements. They don't mix that well. You get a dirty, muddy screen mixing that stuff together. Doesn't mix. You can't mix everything together. Talking about a chemical, you know? You got to do your research and figure out what chemicals are going to marry together. What chemicals are similar to alike. You can't just be throwing stuff together and you end up getting a dirty image out of it. I bet you left my remote control. But I left my remote control on the other side of this. Right. let's come over here. I'm gonna grab something real quick. Let's grab something real quick. I'm gonna put this here. Get this out of the way. Tropical 4K fish. Now, take the surface, turn it around, put it this way instead. Now I'm showing it on the opposite side, turn it around, which I should have did to begin with. So there's the projector, there's the screen right there. I'll put you up close so that we can see how clear the image is going to come up. We got the projector right now on the other side. So it's reflecting all the way across here, and it's coming all the way across over there. So it's filling out the whole inside of the dome. This would be great for abstract art. If you're doing something for like your restaurant or something like that, you want to put a fish tank in there, but you don't feel like having the time to feed the fish. This is fantastic for abstract art. That's why I chose this really big piece. You know, I mean, a small piece doing the demonstration on. No, you had to see it on a much larger piece. Even though we got to go bigger than this, but it just gives you an understanding. So turn it to the side. See how beautiful that looks. Let's get some more light in here too. So we're going to put our overhead lights on. So say like in a restaurant establishment, we have lights on the back. We have lights in the front. Nice and bright in here. You see, no color fade. No washout. This is how the demonstration is supposed to be displayed when it comes to our technology. So now we got the screen reversed. We got it turned around so it fills out the entire thing from edge to edge. And as you can see, nice, clean, crisp image. That's how it's supposed to look. No dirty spots. Put you right up close so you can see how clean it is. You see how much lamp glare is being killed by the projector. Let's go around to the side of it. There we go. See my light coming in from here. Direct hit, light over top, direct hit, screen surrounding the light. And you're supposed to do it on an official size screen, something a little bigger, not that small little square piece, and have the projector zoomed in on that. Again, as you can see, mine's overlapping because you can see it hitting the wall and hitting some of the gunmetal over there. So it's overlapping the entire screen. It's not made to fit that screen. We want it to overlap. And you can see the distance of where my projector is sitting. We're going to be doing compare demonstrations. And it's not just against any company, anyone who wants to basically make this stuff. Go and knock yourself out. It's not as easy as you think it is. It's it's very complicated. And as I said before, you got to be careful about mixing stuff together because, as I said before, you're working with chemicals. So not everything is going to marry well. And again, like I said, that poly is an acrylic. Now, poly's not really so much of an acrylic, but I know that paint is an acrylic. They don't mix well at all, period. You can stir them up, they still break down. They don't break down properly. And because they don't break down properly, that's why you get that muddy look on the screen. It has to be clean. See how that looks? Can you imagine that in someone's restaurant on a 120-inch screen using rear projection? That would look absolutely gorgeous. Outer space screensavers. I like to do these because these particular ones are the hard ones to do. There you go. Starfield. Very hard demonstration to do. You have to be the full contrast levels before Starfield. The problem with the poly and black paint, as I said before, it doesn't marry well. And you would have to put in a lot of black paint into that poly in order to bring up an image dark enough that you can't see objects on the other side. That you will have to do. But the problem is, the more that black you put into that poly, the more it taints the image. That means the image comes up muddier, it comes up dirtier, the white levels fail horribly. It comes up looking pretty bad. So you're trying to keep the white levels nice and white. You're trying to keep the colors nice and vivid. And you want the contrast levels to be black. But if you make the screen too dark, where you can't penetrate the screen and see through it, then you run the risk of basically putting too much black paint into that, and then you're going to have a problem. Altogether, it doesn't mix well anyway, because both of those ingredients don't really marry too well, period. So you're going to have a problem right from the door. Let's go to the other side real quick and show off our, and you see that blue light right there? That's the blue light. Oh, you can see my lamp too. So my overhead, nothing, so it's a cutout right there. So the blue light is reflecting off right here on the floor. So there's my Starfield demonstration right there. So we can pull a contrast level. Let's pull up New York City nighttime screensaver. That's a pretty dark one. Definitely gotta bring that one up. There's a New York City. Nighttime screensaver. Whew. My hoodie on I got this morning. A little chilly downstairs. Decided to put my hoodie on for a little bit. There we are. Side. Now we go to the other side. As you can see, we got no light glaring through. Here we display the New York City skyline. The reason why I do this is because when people do these demonstrations, what they'll do is they'll lean to the side. They'll lean to the side because this doesn't allow you to see the lamp glare pushing through. That means the screen's not dark enough. So what they'll do is they'll tilt to the side so you don't see that blinding lamp glare pushing through on the screen. That camera is supposed to be directly in front of it so you can see it. Have to do the demonstrations correctly. Can't cut corners. Cut corners, your product fails. See that? See, no lamp glare pushes through at all, nothing. No blinding light, nothing in the middle at all, period. And you have to do that on a contrast level. You have to do it in a fully lit environment. Can't get any reflection bouncing off the screen. And only one side is coated. You have to coat one side. Even the side that's coated cancels out light that's basically being hit in the screen, doesn't cause it to reflect back. Even though you can see my reflection, you can see my LED lights at the bottom reflecting off my floor near the projector, it's not going to bounce anything back at you because the screen cancels that out automatically, even if it's pushing through plastic. Now, mind you, when I had my screen outside, it was actually going through double pane glass. So that projector was pushing through double pane glass, and it was still hitting my screen on the outside, still producing an image outside in a fully lit environment. Yeah, we put these outside. It's very important to have them taped outside. Now, like I said, in that demonstration, we don't have any awnings coming down to protect the screen to shade it. The shading we have, we've removed that all together. There's nothing but light coming down on top of that screen. And you have to be able to show a dark contrast level, because everything is going to be displayed off that screen. Everything, commercials, everything. You can't just have certain things pop up and certain things don't pop up. LG 4K demonstrations. How does the screen produce color? Like I said, it has to be clean. Can't have any little specks across the screen. See how clean it is? Has to be clean. Can't have that dirty, mucky, I don't know what that stuff was. Can't have that. People are going to be using this for advertising. They don't want a dirty image popping up, showing up their products. You're displaying food off your restaurant. You want your food to look like it has dirty specks all in it? No. It's very unattractive. I wonder what racing would look like on this. All right, so this one's not done yet. I still have to be outside to test this a little bit more. So we got a rainy day today. Tomorrow will be a sunny day. We got all day to play outside. You can start off at 8 o'clock in the morning, up to 12 o'clock in the morning, up to 3 o'clock in the morning. All those have to be displayed outside. Like I said, key feature for this technology is the direct sun. See that? You have to produce a contrast level. I know for a fact from that mixture, you can't produce a contrast level on that. The screen's not dark enough to do it. There's too much light pushing it. Can't be done. So what most people will do in that situation is they will add in more black paint. Like I said before, those two elements don't mix that well. They don't break down all that well. It may look like when you're staring it up it's breaking down, but it's not breaking down. That's why there's residue all over the screen in these dirty, muddy looking images, because it's not breaking down properly. that causes that muddy look. And then some people think that if I add more black paint to it, then that would fix the problem. No, that actually worsens the problem. Keep in mind, the more black you put in there, your white levels start to drop. So now you end up with a dirty image, color starts to drop, which means the black levels are too high, and all you have is just too much contrast. So now you're overboard. There is no in between, there is no way to fix it, there is no way to make it on that level, because those are two items that don't belong together, period. Think of it as this way. Think of it as a bottle of clear water that you can see right through. So you have to be able to drop something in that water to be able to allow it to see a black level, contrast color, and a white level without altering and changing the clarity of the water. There you go. I just told you how to do it. Now, if you drop something in there, it changes the clarity of the water. It actually changes the structure of how the image is going to be viewed. Train today. But you can see the reflection coming off my LED lights off the floor. That's how dark that screen is. You can't even see nothing on the other end. And at my doors, nothing. Not even the light. You can't see it. All you see is nothing but screen. Haha. Start the screensaver. She doesn't want to listen today. Starfield screensaver. That's what I requested. She's had one of her moments again today. Starfield screensaver. There we go. This technology is not black. It's far from it. It's not even as dark as the gray technology we developed. That gray technology we had yesterday was really dark. This is not that. It's dark, but not as dark as that stuff. And yet. Tron Legacy. Told you, you're dealing with technology you don't understand. It's not as easy as mixing stuff together and trying to make the product that we make. Not that easy. It's a lot of research. Do you know how long I've been developing invisible technology? I'm going to put a video below showing you the first time I started working with it. I was 7 years ago. 7 years ago when I first started developing it. He didn't even exist. We didn't even know who he was. 7 years ago. You know how when you're practicing something over and over again for many, many years, how advanced your technology will become after a while? I'm doing tons of research. And like I said, a lot of faith in God to be able to do that. Has to be clean. So where it comes from being a perfectionist and basically working with your Lord and Savior and not doing things halfway, not cutting corners. Has to be clean. All right, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video demonstration. I have to send this over to your companies that are interested in obtaining this technology. And is there anything else to add to this? Oh, we actually got a couple more colors to go. So we have a black one, and I really haven't decided what color the other one's going to be yet. But it's going to be something strange. Just to figure out what color I'm going to make it. All right. Well, that's basically about it for me. Thank you all for your time. I have to go in. God bless.